Over your years learning maths, you're going to hear maths teachers say that there's certain things that we hate. Now, we don't really hate them. It's just that there's certain things that we tend to want to remove as soon as we see them. And one of those things is fractions. If I have a fraction in an equation, I want to get rid of it. So for example, if I have x divided by 3 equal to 4, and I want to solve that, I want to get rid of the fraction. Now, as we learned yesterday, the way we deal with solving equations is by doing the same thing to both sides of the equation. So, how do you undo a fraction? How do you undo a fraction? Well, fractions, if I have a over b like this, they just mean divide. So a over b means a divided by b. So to undo a fraction, you multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. So therefore, to undo a fraction, you multiply both sides by the denominator. And what that looks like is this. So if I have x over 3 equal to 4, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So I'll multiply this side by 3, and I'll multiply this side by 3, which we know we can do, and we talked about it yesterday. Well, what happens? This gives me 3x over 3 equal to 12. But 3 into 3 is 1. 3 divides into 3 and it gives me 1. So I've undone the dividing by 3 here. I've undone it. And that means that x is equal to 12. When you start doing these, you won't have to show every step like that. I wanted to explain where it came from. Let's do an example where we've more than one fraction in the equation, which means we need to undo all of the fractions. So example, solve for x and verify your answer. We're going to have 1/3 x plus 1 equals 3 minus 5/6 x. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to change how I write this. It's fine to leave it like this, but a note on fractions. Fractions when we have x's in them. 1/3 x is the same as x over 3. And it is my preference that we'll write the number, the variable on top like that, because it makes it clearer what part. When we write it beside it like this, we don't really understand that it's the numerator that multiplies the x and the denominator that divides into the x. So this is 1 times x divided by 3. That's what it means. And I feel like it looks a lot more clear like this. And minus 5 over 6x is minus 5x divided by 6. If we start writing our fractions like that, it makes it much easier to solve them. So I'm going to rewrite this as x over 3 plus 1 equal to 3 minus 5x over 6. They are exactly the same thing. And if you're happy working with them like this, that's fine as well. Okay, I need to undo. I need to undo the dividing by 3 and I need to undo the dividing by 6. And the thing is, if I undo the dividing by 6, if I multiply everything by 6, we'll find that the 3 divides into it. So rather than doing each of them in turn, like we've done with some other things, we look for a common denominator. We look for a common denominator, just like when we're adding fractions. Denominator, which is a number that they all divide into, and multiply each term, both sides, each term, by that. So what's my common denominator? What's the number that all of the denominators will divide into? Hopefully you can see my common denominator, which I write down as CD, is 6. So I'm going to multiply this by 6, I'm going to multiply this by 6, I'm going to multiply this by 6, and I'm going to multiply this by 6. It doesn't matter which side I write it on. And then what happens? Well, here the 6 and the 6 will cancel each other out. And here the 3 divides into 6 to give me 2. When it's cancelling, it's dividing in to give me 1. Okay, so that we say it's cancelling, but it's not really disappearing. It's dividing in to give me 1. And when you multiply by 1, it makes no difference. So this now can be rewritten without fractions as 2x plus 6 by 1 equals 6 by 3 minus 5x. Now I do my letters left, numbers right. 2x plus 5x equal to 18 minus 6, and I've got 7x equals 12. I divide across by my coefficient, and we've got x equal to 12 divided by 7. Okay, I don't want today's class to be too long after all the homework we had yesterday, so I'm going to do this tomorrow, the verifying. Okay, I'm just going to give you one question to do for homework tonight, and we'll leave out the verifying part. I just want you to practice once with these, and we'll spend a little bit more time with them tomorrow, because they're definitely confusing the first time you see them. Okay, thank you.